Alright, what's up guys? My name is Joker and welcome back to Phoenix Wright. Ace Attorney, yes, last time we left off we finished the second trial and we got another day to find out what the hell is going on in this case. We also found out that Detective Marshall was actually posing as Detective Goodman. He stole his jacket and his ID card. There was no murder at the police department. It was all a hoax. So the real murder happened at the parking lot. Anyway, let's just begin and get right into it. Why not?
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. God damn it. I fucked up. Shit. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
What did she say? I don't quite remember. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Yes, that's not a good thing.
I didn't know.
I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Me neither. Feels like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file.
Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother,
he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
Oh shit! What? Oh no! That's pretty serious. Holy shit! He tried to kill you? Whoa.
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
Oh shit. So that means you.
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming. Holy shit. This game is crazy. Tell me more about this. I want to know.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too.
There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season.
I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
what exactly happened next?
I'll never forget it.
Whoa.
Lightning struck and the lights went out suddenly. A bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture, huh? God damn.
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
What do you mean by that? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forced the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth, huh? Of course it's Edgeworth. It's always goddamn Edgeworth.
Yes, but I'm sure you didn't know about anything about it. You couldn't have known. It was be giving false evidence. Even so, that's when this all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not Emma. Interesting. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
That? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl, huh?
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out.
Emma, help me!
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma, you've been through so much. How old was he then? 14?
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that incident. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Hey, I guessed it. She was 14. I could do math.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I became a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to force any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Really? You mean by the police?
Of course! This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective's office and questioning room are right across from the elevator.
But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
What?
Really? She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark killings, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? How many detectives are there? Jesus! I better have another talk with her. Oh, crap. Oh, bloody hell. Let's talk to Lana, see what she has to say. So she was a detective before. God damn. So many detectives in this fucking chapter. Hello, Lana.
Lana!
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? What did she say? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Tell me more. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one, 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it?
Fuck.
I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
Well, she didn't. She lied. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Detective Lana Sky, that sounds weird. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases he and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant, huh? Why does he always come up in these questionnaires? That's weird. He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked at the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But why? But now you are chief prosecutor. What the hell happened? Tell me. I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was
to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right?
Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to his resolution. After that, I became chief of police. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command, that means the investigation led was Damon Gant. It was Damon Gant, right? Yes, the deputy chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office? My God! We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman was whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark.
You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Oh, okay. First one at the scene, huh? That's interesting. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself.
That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh shit, goddamn! When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do exactly? To be honest, I panicked.
Fuck!
I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance?
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes. His actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark.
Life doesn't end with what? With the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Ooh! Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Oh hi, Detective Marshall. Howdy, Bambina. How are you today?
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. What? You never know where life leads you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. Say, where you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do you prospector head west? If ever there was a case, I need to know the truth about. It was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Tell me more, did you get very far? Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. Okay, but in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question? What do you mean by that?
The blade was a knife, but not a perfect match with the wound with the victim sustained. What does that exactly mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forced evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind?
Scars. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he, your brother?
It was 27 at the time. It was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor, huh? You mean the fucking King of Prosecutors award? God damn it. I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall. Must have really been close with his brother, huh?
The day of the SL9 incident took place. That wasn't the same day
as Wright. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. God damn. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe those 2 years have already gone by. Blah, 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 blah. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him, too, the commissions would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They?
What are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky.
Ah.
The investigation led Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Sky. Dun dun dun. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since he left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. I'm drinking, hold on, goddamn. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Ashworth isn't my enemy. It was the one who used It was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence to plant everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Okay. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. See you later, Damon Gant. No, wait, sorry, Marshall. I'm an idiot. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did, and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Ashwood not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Wait, I thought we weren't allowed in there. What the fuck? Whoa! That's his office? Holy shit, it's huge! My god! Yeah, his theme is back. I love it. I love his theme. Whoa, where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. Yeah, that's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Back.
Or back or batch? I don't know.
I thought that was a genius until they tried teaching me notes.
Oh, what? Oh! Oh my god, that's loud. Don't do that again.
I never could remember where C was.
Hmm? Oh, hi, Gant. Oh, it's you two. Hello, Chief Gant. He put that paper we was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forced evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Yes. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something is not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. What do you mean, what's wrong with the picture? Oh, it's evidence, okay. Photo at the awards ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. Ha ha ha! Righto, righto. Talk. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Dickhead! Looks like we aren't welcome.
It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be some reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Yeah, but how? How do we get in there? What about maybe Lana? Maybe Lana can help us. Hey, Lana. Maybe if I show her the picture, maybe she'll help us. Look at this picture. I guess not. Cool. I'm back.
Hey, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just, taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have you either of you seen Mr. Esworth?
Nope. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious, huh?
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Esworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
Not good, not good, not good. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Nana Sky is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him?
in our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Hey, Dick, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Let's go for lunch again sometime. My treat.
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir.
It seems you don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at that file earlier while the cops was brewing.
He seems generally concerned for Edgeworth.
Well,
Oh, that's Phoenix. Well, did you find out anything?
the only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack,
His final attack, you mean...
when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress me.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Maybe. Or maybe it won't. Who knows anymore? Dark's crimes.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. It was just your run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take it to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed the lady who saw the second crime. A kid, a jogger came up from the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is all conjecture. It wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
A.K.A. Emma. Hold on. Again. Because I didn't get to read that last part there. My kid.
A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then he was burying the bodies. Blah, 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 blah.
Let's show him the murder weapon. See what happens. And about this.
Hey, is that...
There's a tag attached to it with a label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in the locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, they suddenly disappeared from the locker. And that was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, quick, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
Tell us what it is.
The murder weapon.
This knife. Well, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at that knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body.
What?
It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did he match Dark's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive. Oh, okay, Neil, autopsy. We got another autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. And, okay, we got more. Switchblade knife was updated. The broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark.
Well, there you have it, in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, use it as Chief Gant.
It's not money, what the fuck, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now, and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really? That's stupid. Why would you design it like that?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this, the ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh. Fuck. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Like what? What could we show him? I wonder if Edgewood is back yet. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgewood. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgewood for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Okay, damn. Calm down, dude. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office will share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department error, my responsibility. As the prosecutor in charge, that fact remains the same no matter what the excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth! I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up, huh? Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one? It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Wright, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that the case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? What do you mean? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Okay. That's a weird story, honestly. Show him the picture, see what he says. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Oh wait, that's what. Sorry. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophies.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes.
The trophy what Mr. Marshall is holding, it's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. What exactly do you remember? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story? What do you mean by that?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Of course, always goddamn contradictions. King of Prosecutors Trophy! This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? No. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it for Emma's sake? Very well. What the fuck is going on? Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute.
Objection! Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. Speechless. Fuck! And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. That's a weird ass story, bro.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Why?
It has been updated.
2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Cool. That's fun and all, but I'm gone. Bye. What's going on here?
Excuse me?
Oh no.
Can we just skip over this fucking bitch? Would either of you care for a 1/4 pound of roast beef?
Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. What the fuck? What are you talking about, lady? Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from the case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife, no matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Oh my god, I don't want to talk to this fucking lady. God. Boo! She sucks. I hate her. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jack Marshall thought, though. Must have been going through hell. I mean, because of his brother's death. They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye.
My sister?
The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by the legendary duo. Lana and
Chief Gant.
that legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened.
What do you mean by that? What the fuck?
After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn by Chief Gant. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? What does that mean? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked, and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall?
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Mister.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? I don't know, brother, but this is... weird. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief?
That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude There must have been a reason for her change. At last, I am finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Okay, you're really weird sometimes. Who should we talk to next?